What up, everybody? Welcome back to Live Good, Feel Better, the podcast where we talk about health in a way that's practical, honest, and actually doable. My name is Joshua Gibson, a believer, husband, father, rapper, business owner, health enthusiast, and now, in season 2, officially a podcast host. Look around here, y'all. We focus on simple habits and real conversations that help us grow physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. But I want y'all to keep in mind, this is not about perfection, but it is about progress, taking steps forward to improve every single day. Our scripture for season 2 is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, which is trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean into your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. That's the energy that we are carrying into this season, trusting God, staying consistent, and figuring it out one step at a time. Now, with that being said, let's get into the guest for this week. Today's guest has lived a story that most people wouldn't believe if they didn't watch it unfold. She's built successful businesses making over $50,000 a month, helped entrepreneurs secure millions of dollars in funding, became a trusted voice in government contracting, and she's dedicated her career to helping other entrepreneurs create opportunities they may not have known existed. But what really catches my attention isn't just her business success, it's her willingness to share the parts of her story that most people would keep private. She's openly talked about proposing to her husband, retiring him, and then going through a divorce. However, she is now rebuilding her life, redefining success, and discovering that sometimes your greatest lessons come after your greatest accomplishments. In a world where social media usually gives us the highlight reel, she has decided to tell the entire story. The victories, the setbacks, the hard conversations, and the seasons of starting over. At the end of the day, success means very little if it costs you your peace. That's why today's conversation isn't just about making more money or building bigger businesses. It's about financial health. It's about healthy boundaries. It's about creating opportunities, protecting your peace, building generational wealth, and learning how to pursue success without losing yourself along the way. So with all that being said, y'all help me welcome Sydney Lorraine. How you doing, Sydney?
I'm doing great.
That's good. We've been having some technical difficulties, but we're going to work through it. It is what it is.
Absolutely. We're resilient, okay?
We gotta be. So I want to get right into it. Who are you at the core? Like before the businesses, the funding, the success, like what did your life look like?
Grew up, raised Kansas City with a single father. He then remarried and relocated to Michigan, where I spent most of my time in my older age, like teen years, and went on to like build myself up to where I am today in Michigan. Before that, though, I was really just love or travel, love to do family time, love to hang with my friends. And really, I've always been one just trying to figure out where my place was in the world. I switched majors a couple times and went back and forth with it, and then eventually found my positioning in engineering were just technical, really. I really enjoyed creating things through technology. Um, and that kind of since college has kind of been the trajectory I've been on. And I love it when whatever I create helps other people do things easier, makes our life easier. And like that's how I really spent most of my younger years. That got me where I am today.
Right. So like when you were younger, could you imagine like you doing what you're doing right now? Like were you always like a hustler, like making money? Like kind of talk about that.
Always had a hustle spirit. I mean, like real young, I thought I'd be doing like hair or a lawyer. Like it was either beautician or lawyer with my careers. However, once I got into college, well, maybe not college, like high school, I was like selling mixed CDs. Like I would use LimeWire and Napster.
Yeah.
I was making burn CDs and people give me their list and I would like make records and sell them their CDs. I used to have a do your homework. I used to do people's homework at a business. I do your project for you. I used to sell candy out my backpack. So I've always loved to make money. I've always had a business mind. And I had an uncle, the first person who was my investor. He gave me money. I went to Sam's Club, bought bulk candy. We talked about the markup margin I needed to do. Like that gave me, I love the logistics of figuring it out and then actually
Yeah.
implementing it. And it worked. And I've been addicted to that repetitive cycle of success ever since.
Beautiful. So, do you think when you were younger, that's when you realized, like, you wanted something that wasn't considered normal? Because what you do right now, I feel like isn't like the norm per se.
Um, you know, nor I would think it wasn't normal until I got in rooms with people that this is very much normal. So,
Mm,
depending on what room you're in, it seems not normal, but there are rooms where this is very much normal.
okay, let's touch on that real quick, because
Yeah.
so that's like a mindset shift. Like, so a lot of people listening to this podcast or just in general grew up where the norm, right, is working a 9 to 5, living check to check, struggling to pay bills, but there's another side of it where the norm is living in abundance and being able to make as much money as you want. So kind of talk about when your
Ye
mind shifted to that.
You know, when my hard work, my resilience afforded me the yes for people to say, "Yeah, I'll give you this opportunity," and those came with invitations to meet and network with different people, and I'm just like, these people are doing amazing things. Like to some people feel like I'm a big fish and I'm in rooms, I'm like, oh my God, these are some big dogs in here. So there's perspectives to it. But
Yeah,
because I was in the room with them, it made what I feel like I can continue to do more achievable and less like, okay, the next level even feels more realistic now.
right.
Because these people are doing it and they're everyday people.
So do hey, I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, there's a difference between. So some people can be in that same situation and be a hater, right? But you are in that situation and you look at people and you're motivated to get where they are. So, like, where do you think that comes from? Is it like a level of confidence you have in yourself, or?
Oh, no, I don't think I'm always confident, but I'm hungry though. And sometimes I'm willing to push my
Mhm.
lack of confidence aside for the big picture.
Mm,
Um, and hating on anyone's success don't get me nowhere closer to my own. So I also realized early that who I know in those relationships are what I need to continue to move further. So when I'm in that room, I foster relationships. And when we say foster relationships, it's not making ask of people. I get to know them as people. I check on how's your kids? How's that project going? How are things been? What do you need help with? Volunteering my time. I actually genuinely like to build those real relationships. They're truly organic and they become fruitful ones.
I love it. Yeah. So the success isn't always about the logistics and the money, but about relationships.
Oh my God. Okay. The key to financial capital, social capital. Yes.
Mm, I love it. So, like, a lot of people, they see like where you are today, and obviously, I'm speaking from a point of
Yeah.
when I look at you, and always like every time I see you on like Facebook or whatever, I'm like, man, like Sydney, like you motivate me. So I'm talking from that perspective. So like when people see where you are, they don't know the cost of what it took to get there. So talk about like some of the biggest challenges that you've had, like even now, what you're going through, or just even early on in your entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah. Man, like you mentioned the highlight reel, and I think that's where my content has shifted because I've always posted a highlight reel. You've seen every competition I've won. I've won pitches and opportunities and launched these companies and sold them. But I've built and sold 2 companies, but I've probably had 3 or 4 that I failed at. I've won,
Mhm.
close to $500,000 in grants and pitch competitions, but I will say maybe I didn't fail as many of those, but I do have some failures back there. But like I've failed, I've missed shots, and you don't see those. You only see the wins, and I think I've gotten to this experience that I felt like something really wasn't resonating with people online. Like it's great to see people doing good things, and kudos to you, but it feels somewhat out of touch. And that's when I really realized, and people even commented, it's like I know you in real life, and I had no idea that this was going on in your life at the time when I had shared, some of more recent social media posts. And people like I work with you on projects, like I seen what you're doing, but I did not know that you were carrying these things or this is what you were dealing with home life. Because I think I kind of always felt like there's that privacy piece, and these are things that can be
Mhm.
public. And really, if you're going to want to connect with people and inspire and encourage people, you got to bring some human side to your content too. And whether people resonated with my story or not or seen it, it humanized the work I've done a lot. It gives a little bit. I
Yeah,
mean, to really understand the glory, you had to hear my story.
yeah,
Yeah.
facts. I think even me, like like kind of knowing you on a personal level,
Mhm.
like the algorithm just showed you or showed me your content,
Yeah.
and I've been studying like marketing and like social media and hooks and stuff like that. The hook that you have, I'm sure you're doing it intentionally.
Mhm.
Like, we start off like, "I proposed to my husband,
Mhm.
retired him, I think that's what it is.
Mhm.
That intrigued me, like, wait, for one, I didn't I didn't know you
Yeah.
got a divorce, and then I went through I think it was like 7, maybe more,
Mhm.
7 different videos. I just went through the story just looking like, "Wow, that's amazing." So, what made you be so transparent about that part of your life?
That was not easy, a little embarrassing because I don't always make the right choices. I'm not always successful in everything I do. Um, but again, I think people knew I was making money. People knew I was building businesses. People knew I was making these moves, but they didn't really know what I was carrying that got me to this point. People ever knew, why did you quit? Why did you stop? You know,
Yeah,
and so I just wanted to add context because I think before I start sharing my story, again, there was no resonation with it, very little engagement. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we hear you." But like, okay, now I can put things together. And
yeah,
that's what I just knew was missing to actually to reach the people I needed to reach. And my goal is to build community. When I put that out, so many women who reached out who want the same level of financial freedom and flexibility, security, the cash flow, and they've also dealing with grief. Their mothers, they're caring families, their parents. Some people are their parents, caregivers. Like we're caring for some people that we love in our life. And yet we want to still pursue our own ambitions. And I've been my story may look a little different, but we do that in some way it look the same. And that's what I needed to really communicate to really just give them that motivation and because we're no different. You can be in those same rooms I'm in. We have the same amount of resources and time in the day. I promise you. I am no more smarter than anyone else. I promise you, I have no better education. I have a standard education. I stayed on academic probation all the time. Like I am not like some overperforming person. I am not.
yeah, but like you said earlier, like, I think one thing that, like, separates people is not the education, but it's the drive and the hunger. Because
Yes,
there's a
what
lot
a
of people who have, like, degrees and all sorts of, like, accolades on
mhm.
paper, but if you don't have that hunger and drive to, like,
Oh, me
push
nothing, yeah.
past all the obstacles that are gonna come with entrepreneurship, you're not gonna make it. You can get one obstacle and just stop and, "Okay,
Mhm.
I'm going back to my 9 to 5 because I had a bad month or a bad couple months or whatever."
Yep,
But,
absolutely.
like, looking back on that season of your life, like, on your marriage and everything, like, what did that teach you that success never could?
That's a good question. That taught me more about myself. It really taught me that I have to address past traumas. It really taught me that therapy is a continuous maintenance piece. It's not a get healed and you're good now. It's not a doctor's appointment. It's truly ongoing mental maintenance. Um, it really taught me that about myself and also my taught me a lot about my decision making and that also translate into how I do business because businesses require relationships too. Business is about relationships. And so it really taught me to really kind of go back and make sure I'm bonding and making relationships from a healed and healthy space. Um,
Mm,
and that success didn't really point that out to me, like having these personal relationships. When I say a little bit, I will say I always struggle too with managing employees. I do talk about that too, like managing teams of people. I struggle with that relationship piece. And I kind of knew that, but when that starts spilling over into my personal life, at this point, it's a me problem. So those are some things that really pointed out to me because it needs to be addressed if I want to continue to have healthy personal relationships and healthy business relationships and want people excited and love to work with me or want to be with me and be my partner, whatever that may be, those things have to be addressed. I have to work on that part about me.
so, like, what are some parts about you that you think could be better at managing teams? 'Cause I vaguely remember you saying that before.
Yeah, I am just not an empathetic person. I think people want to feel cared for. I know this sounds weird. Believe it or not, okay,
I'm
I'll be
laughing
just
because
straight.
I no.
I'll just be straight because I have some people who's like, I love to work like that. Like, I'm not a small talk person. I'm not going to call, how are your kids? And do. I'm not going to ask you all that. But some people really feel valued if you ask that. And that naturally doesn't come to, like, I'm not a hugger. I'm not an embracer, things like that. Like, I'm not an affectionate person like that. So, but there's some people that they need to feel that to feel valued. They need to feel that to feel cared for by you. And I missed that mark with employees and in personal life. And so I just know that's always been, and I'm a very actual person. I'm specific, and sometimes that can come off critical. People think, "Oh, you're being critical of me." Because I
Hmm.
will I don't sugarcoat things. I'm very raw with what I say. I want you to admit accountability to things specifically. We're not gonna be vague about our accountability. Um, and also I won't allow you to play small with me or with yourself. And sometimes that can be uncomfortable for people, especially because they don't know me like that.
So like with you, you proposed to your husband, you helped
Mhm,
him or helped retire him, and then
mhm,
eventually you guys got a divorce.
mhm.
So like looking back, do you think like you providing that level of like care was like how you expressed love? Like, do you think like that's how you express love to people or
I'm definitely a gifter. Even my friends like will tell you like like they be like sneak would buy me stuff. Like I'm a spoiler. I'm a gifter. That's my love language. I love acts of service. Um, I love birthdays. Love celebrating people. So that is naturally what I do to show my appreciation and gift and reciprocate people I care for. And so specifically into that manner with my relationship, I absolutely wanted to give him that experience, because he picked up and moved to help me take care of our son, like to drop everything to move to a different state. We were in different states, a different state to help me take care of our son postpartum, which is hard times. At the time, my
Mhm.
mother was dying of cancer, and and my brother quit his job to be her primary caregiver, which means they needed support. I still had to help and alleviate, and I got a newborn, right? I was
Yeah.
in the most trying time of my life, and that man put his life on hold to hold me down. So yeah, I reciprocated that love back.
Mhm.
Um, and Imma take care of you in respect of you made a I appreciate you. You made a sacrifice for me. Um, and that's kinda how that all started. So that's how that's I guess you could say that's how I reciprocate my love language is you hold me down and you're down for me, I'm down for you.
Yes. Do
Yeah.
you think like after you reciprocated those things,
Mhm.
like then fast forward, like were there warning signs that you dismissed because you knew you were capable of handling everything?
There are definitely some things I dismissed or maybe could have paid more attention to or just slowed down to take my time with decisions for
Yeah.
sure. Um, I think I pushed through those because again, I was so keen on not wanting to make my partner feel like they did this for nothing.
Yeah.
It was not a big ask of what I asked for him. So even if I felt like, oh, there was some red flags or anything like that, I pushed through because what was more important is I really value what he did. It was huge for me. For me, it was really
Yeah.
huge. So I pushed through, and maybe I still fell short, but also mind you, I have this lack of affection problem and this lack of being empathetic and I can seem critical and all these things. So there also is, I'm sure I'm a red flag too in some areas as well. So
We all are. Yep.
okay. So respect that he also probably is dealing with a red flag. So
Yeah.
you pushing through with me, I'm pushing through with you. So I mean, but that's relationships, right, too. Um, so it didn't maybe work out in that respect long term, but for the moment of what we were going through and what we had on our plate at the time, we pushed through it.
Now I
Yeah.
gotta ask this.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go to the next question. So after proposing once, are you officially retired from proposing, or could somebody else ever like get that treatment again? Because that's not a normal thing. Like
It's
you know,
apparently it's not. Um based on comments. So would I ever? I would say I would never not. Believe it or not. But I probably would prefer not to. It's actually I've been engaged once before, and I did not make that proposal.
I was just about
Um,
it.
I did not. But I actually, although I've been engaged before and been married, I've actually never been proposed to. Like a man gets on one knee and says, "Will you marry
Mm,
me?" No, it's always been just like a conversation, like, "Hey, do you want to get married?" "Yeah, sure, let's do it." Like it's just been that, but it's never
yeah.
been like anything romantic or a formal proposal. So I do desire to eventually have that experience.
I'm seeing like on your videos, like people respond with things like, I'm listening and this is valuable because of your transparency and it's clearly helping, but does being this open make you feel exposed? So, like, what is your response to those comments? Like, if you could say something to them right now, what would your response be?
I really don't like I don't feel exposed. Um I mean, I guess maybe I do, but it doesn't make me feel anything bad. I think
Mm,
the
mm,
value, the private DMs I get from women who needed it, who feel it, who resonate, I guess trumps all that.
yeah.
And who it's for. And the fact that some women did resonate with that, believe it or not, I'm in something similar, whether I have, a dad who keeps coming in and out my life, but I keep taking it back and helping my parent out and whatever, right? It may look a little different, but in some respect, that's the experience. Um,
Mhm.
I just feel more positive that I'm encouraging people to find opportunities to diversify their income, to have more freedom and have more options, because that provides more security than those who are judging my decision making, um, or whatever they think about me sharing my story. What does someone say? I think where they think I failed, they are even in position to experience.
Well, I
So,
just thought Jamel Hill said that, right?
mhm.
I think I
Yes.
just
Okay.
saw
Like,
that.
why are you judging me in somewhere you wouldn't even be even close to even having experience of? You're not even in the
Yeah,
room. Yeah.
exactly. So I want to shift to obviously the podcast is about health. So
Hmm.
for you, I thought it would be a good choice to talk about financial health because that's a lot of people struggle with that. So when
I'm
you
still
hear the
struggling with
words,
it.
and yeah, for sure, everybody has their level of struggle. But when you hear the words financial health, like what does that actually mean to you?
Financial health to me, it just means you have one, consistent cash flow. You also are living below your means, or you have a great debt to income ratio, which is maybe about 30 to 40% debt to income. So you have more disposable and lucrative income. Also, there's some
Hmm.
sort of investment, retirement, or savings plan and strategy effective in place. Like that's financial health to me. You're saving, you got consistent income, and you're not living above your means. That's
Yeah.
healthy.
What's like an unhealthy belief that you had about money that you had to unlearn or are currently unlearning?
Definitely currently unlearning. I have not mastered it yet, and I don't know what I need to do to master, but because I've had consistent cash flow and the Lord has just continued to bless me financially, I think I've taken it for granted that I spend as it fast as it comes in. So I'm really working on like managing that better. I'm
Yeah.
working on having more discipline around saving and budgeting. But I always feel like you got the money. Like, why are you trying to restrict what you spend? But
Yeah.
and that was also like pre-kids. Now that I have kids, I have a little bit more drive to want to get my finances in order and get that discipline and health together. Because people rely on me for the long term. And I think after losing a parent and having to deal with the financial things of, managing someone's estate and what my mom left us, like, what am
Yeah.
I leaving my kids on? Am I leaving them with a burning debt? Any money, any revenue, like what am I doing here with it? If anything's happening at any time, so that's where my mind is shifted to make moves a little differently.
So you're saying like when you lost you said it was your mom?
Mhm.
When you
Yep.
lost your mom, she was able to leave you guys something.
A
So
house,
you
but the house had a mortgage, so I mean it's really debt.
oh,
And then
right,
and if
right.
you don't ever put any equity into the home, there's none to really pull out of it. You just kind of hope the market's inflated, but we know how
R
markets go.
Yep,
You have life insurance, but it's pretty standard. Price of living is high. So, so there was those things that grateful for what she did set up and try to make it as easy as possible. But um I just thought, okay, like something my kids live on more than just 6 months to a year. Like, how could, if something happens to me, that they have security? Because I'm not there to provide any emergency funds or to be the option when they need a bailout. And sometimes money does open options. It offers
Yeah.
security. And that's what I want to make sure they have if anything ever happened to me. Because parenting still can continue after death. And that's how I plan to parent.
So social media is a new stream of income for a
Mhm.
lot of people. And again, I don't know how many followers you had 2 months ago, but you have a decent amount of followers. So
Yeah.
are you? I'm assuming you're trying to make that a form of income, or you
Yeah.
already have. Talk about
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, so I did. I've always been trying to do the whole social media content thing, and it was pennies at a time. Again, but
yeah,
no views, no comments, like for years, 300 views, maybe 1,000 max. It was not lucrative or going off until again I shared the story, and that really got it going. Um, and I also followed content creators and took classes that taught me how to do the hooks, how to make the ask, and how to get my following in 60 months, like, really got me over total across all platforms, maybe 30 to 40,000 followers. But out of that, I had, like, 3 to 4 million in engagement, reaching millions of people.
yeah,
Outside of just the follows, it's the engagement that really was the key. And with that, being able to, one, create a community of these people who resonated and wanted more support. So I was able to have a creator community with, again, reoccurring revenue for me, just sharing my knowledge and information with people. They pay to have access to that. They want to pay to have some type of access to you. So that was my main goals. I definitely knew I wanted to have a paid community.
yeah.
And so I started building that. I'm up to like 51 people in it. So my goal is 1,000. And then I have digital products, and then I have one-on-one coaching. And although I never went on social media asking people to book me for coaching, people did. And it's been lucrative as well for me. Um, but mind you, I've always had that on my profile to book a call, but ain't nobody ever book a call with me until I went viral. So,
Yeah,
right, but again, I think people needed that context, and that really helped as well to
the
resonate because,
humanness.
yeah, that really helped. People want to see themselves in you and your story, or either see where they can be within you. Like, okay, you've been somewhere I want to be, or you're at where I think I'm at too, and I want to work alongside you and be, what are you doing too? And so I just had to find the sweet spot of that when it came to my content. Took years, found it, and then when you find it, double down on it.
Yeah, double down. And I think we talked about this earlier, like how you're hungry, but you're like an executor. So like you said, you went through those social media classes. A lot of people, including me, sometimes like go through something like that, get the information, feel good about it, and then never do
Yeah.
anything with it. But you executed it. And why are you
Oh,
like that?
listen, I wish I had some way to bottle up and sell it too, because I, I believe in failing fast, and I don't mind failing publicly. I don't care what,
Mm.
and because what you want, and actually that's one of the classes taught us, what you want has to be bigger than the fear of failure. And me wanting to provide for my kids is bigger than any comment, any fear of failure. I will fall flat on my face 10 times if it means I'm gonna provide for my kids the way I want
Now, Sydney, I didn't ask you to come on here and preach. We're
to.
doing this on a Tuesday. You came on here preaching. But no,
For sure.
so when people come to you for like the one-on-one coaching, knowing that some people don't execute on like the lessons or plans that they hear, do you have that in the back of your mind? Like, don't think that you're failing because of me. You're failing because you didn't execute what I said. Do you like have a form of that in the back of your mind?
Absolutely. I know some people won't take the advice, or they'll take the advice but still think, Sydney told me to really stay focused, double down and master one thing, but Imma still do X, Y, and Z, the 3, 4 other things that I have in my back idea pocket is I can still do it all. I know they're gonna still do that. I know they'll drag their feet. I know their mindset will shift. I'm not qualified. I can't do it. I can offer as much as I can, but I cannot change mindset. And I be real that they need to change their mindset. I also follow up. I offer the accountability. But never do I worry that you're failing because of me. I did my job. I gave you the answers. I gave you the plan. I gave you the exact steps to do. And if you choose to veer off, not do it, and not do it in a timely manner, not do it over the course of 6 months, because it's also about timing, market, supply, demand. There's a reason why it works the way it does. So dragging your feet won't get you results either, even though I did it, but I did it slowly and not the best. And I dragged it over time. And now you're in a dead season.
That's very accurate. Because I used to always think, like, if it's so easy, why can't everybody just do it? But everybody, for whatever reason, they don't have the capacity, whether it's the season of life or just
Yeah.
them, whatever they dealt with in childhood or whatever. So I don't know which question would I might ask both. How do you feel about like AI?
Oh,
Like building websites with AI? What are the
oh,
benefits of it in the future? What do you say to people who are afraid of it?
oh, if you're afraid of AI, I mean, everything's gonna be used now. I am not a fan of AI for creativity.
Mm-mm.
I'm a great AI in terms of assisting you move faster, move smarter as an aid to what you need to do. So I don't think like building websites and support, I think it should be a baseline, a good start, a good shortcut, right? So you to build upon. But if it's doing the job, it's missing. It doesn't understand your customer user behavior buyer. Like sometimes that takes really experience and human knowledge. And input. It may be able to shortcut you and make you again work faster, work harder, make work smarter and leaner, but like it still needs to be a companion to what you already have and done. Same thing with like
Yeah,
app development, all those type of things, is what I encourage about AI. But using it as a resource and a tool, over as like an aid, to like do it for you is my
yeah,
thing. And if you're scared of it again, I mean, also just there's AIs that have really good privacy policy and like, they're coming out with more governance around AI. So just stay abreast of that, how the policies and regulations change around AI.
yeah. Because it's
Yeah.
coming. It's like the book "Who Moved My Cheese." If you just gotta get
Yeah,
on it quick. But
for sure.
what are some of like the biggest mistakes you see entrepreneurs make when they first start trying to win like big contracts?
Probably going for big contracts. Um, Going for the big ones is a lot of work and more than you never want to put yourself out, even if you win it to does not do the best. So the first thing is apply more, so a volume of applying so you can get better at writing, better at understanding the language. And just all you need is to win some small ones. And the doors open up for that one, relationships, procurement, people know relationships, build the experience, perfect your systems and application process. Start there first. That's the way to go. Mistake is trying to go too big because you see the dollar. Yeah, you think you're capable, but it's also the competition, and it's also perhaps not knowing it. You got the job. You way underbidded yourself, and that's why you got it. And you're going to regret. And now you got to tell them I can't do the work because it's ain't enough money because I ain't got the people and I got to pay the people. It's just is and usually the bigger the money means it's more than just yourself. You got to bring a team. You got to subcontract sometime. It requires partnerships and that too is a lot for someone who's new and a first time early contractor making mistakes. Start small.
Beautiful. So, what do you hope your kids learn about money by watching you, not just by listening to you?
By watching me, ooh, 'cause I gotta
Yep, it's the
do what I
difference.
say, huh? Not just say what yeah. Um, I hope they just work ethic, how to like one, I mean, make money. I really want my kids to have amazing work ethic. So I definitely think they're gonna watch me that mom knows how to continuously monetize and work and set her value. And I do hope long term they see me make smart investments and be financially savvy. I won't say frugal necessarily, but I'm savvy. It means I
Yeah.
protect my own interest of my money and I make smart investments that yield results, dividends, something.
If you could go back and sit across from the version of yourself who retired your husband, what would you tell her today?
I honestly would probably tell her the same thing. I wouldn't tell her anything different. Like, no, not to don't do that. I think what she did is a great example of her character. You were down for people, you look out for people who look out for you. I think what I would tell her is protect your own interest. Make sure you consider what that person needs to continue to feel valued and on the same page of expectations, which was not set. And that's why I would encourage you, like, girl, make sure you set some expectations before you do this. Make sure y'all on the same page of what
Right.
it means to be retired. Because I mean, stop working or actually applying yourself. But really, now that you have the freedom to create the lifestyle and complement what I've been working on, right? And see if that's compatible and aligned. So that's what I would have told her, and advised. Not advised against do it or not. I think that's okay, whether people do it all the time or not. It's just about the
Yeah,
communication and understanding the expectation around what's to expect of someone who is retired now.
absolutely. So I asked this question to everybody. What does live good, feel better mean to you? So kind of answer that and then wrap
Yeah.
it up with where people can find you on social
Yeah.
media and all the stuff they say at the end of the podcast.
So live good, feel better me is just do things in your life that you love doing. Live a life that you love to live. And that will make you feel good about the life that you're living, right? If you're making good decisions, you're eating good food, you're doing good things, you're surrounded with good people, you're moving your body in ways that make it feel good, you're treating yourself kindly. That's living good and it makes you feel good. So it's really about just your decisions and choices you make about you, yourself, and your environment. Um, and hopefully that makes you feel better, make others feel better, make your world feel better. I love that. Live good, feel better. Almost feels like a perfect tattoo. um,
Hey,
yes, but so overall, that's what it means to me. And you can always find me on Instagram at I am Sydney Lorraine. Facebook, I am Sydney Lorraine. TikTok, Sydney Lorraine is usually always over my handles, as well online. I'm happy to connect. For anyone watching, we'd love to see you online.
perfect. Well, Sydney, thank you so much for
Thank you.
being on this podcast. I appreciate everybody because it's still growing. It's going to be big one day, but it's still growing. So to
Yes.
come on here while it's in this smaller stage, I definitely appreciate it. That's all, y'all. We're going to dip out. See y'all next week. I really hope y'all enjoyed that episode and show some love to our guests by following them on all their social platforms. And if you want to support Live Good, Feel Better, make sure y'all subscribe on YouTube by searching Live Good, Feel Better Podcast. Also, follow us on Instagram by searching Live Good, Feel Better Pod. But remember, there's an underscore in between each word. Look, I need y'all to leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. It really helps the show grow and reach more people. Also, this is a shameless plug. If you are into juicing fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and just overall health content, follow my personal page, which is Juicing with Josh. Once again, there's an underscore in between each word. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you come back for the next episode. And remember, do what you can to live good so you feel better. Peace. Ambition, I'ma go after. Obstacles, it don't matter. All action, low chatter, won't slow down, I'ma go faster. More goals that I'll try. Let's scroll on Wi-Fi. No fast food in my gut. More sunshine, cause I'm outside. Only time speaking vocally is in the song, then you gon' see. Every single thing pan out like my wife cooking and we bout to eat. Bank accounts with interest. Stocks up when I invest. No updates on my timeline. Could care less if you impress. My vision board on Pinterest. I'm praying more when I get stressed. I'm making sure that my kids set. My 2 boys, they been next. Took a break, I'ma get going. I was moving quiet like the wind blowing. Now I'm stomping for my dreams. And I promise you there's no more tiptoeing. Cause ambition, I'ma go after. Obstacles, it don't matter. All action, low chatter, won't slow down. I'ma go faster. More goals that I'll try. Let's scroll on Wi-Fi. No fast food in my gut. More sunshine cause I'm outside. More sunshine cause I'm outside. Better catch the